Long ago, a brave prince stood at the edge of his kingdom. He faced a choice: stay in his comfortable palace or lead his people into the unknown. His decision would change history forever. This is the story of Shaolung Sukapa, a prince who left everything behind to create something new. Far away in the mountains of ancient China stood the kingdom of Mong Mao. Their prince, Sukapa, wasn't like other royal children. He was curious, he was brave, he was kind. Prince Sukapa, why do you spend time with common soldiers? Asked an advisor one day. How can I lead people I don't understand? Replied the young prince. While other princes collected gold, Sukapa collected wisdom. One day he practiced archery in the palace gardens. An old priest approached him. Young prince, said the priest, I see something special in you. What do you see? Asked Sukapa. Your arrows fly straight, but your path leads far away. You will find a new land. You will plant seeds of a kingdom that will grow for centuries. These words stayed with Sukapa. Years passed. Trouble came to his homeland. Food grew scarce, brothers fought over the throne. Sukapa stood before the king. Father, let me lead our people to a new home. It will be dangerous, my son, warned the king. We are strong together, father, said Sukapa. We will find a place where our children can thrive. The king nodded. Then go with my blessings. The year was 1215. 9,000 people gathered at the kingdom's edge. Their faces showed both fear and hope. Pack only what we need, Sukapa ordered. A long road lies ahead. No one knew just how long. The first month tested their courage. Summer brought new dangers, hidden quicksands that nearly claimed 3 elephants. Sukapa organized human chains to pull the massive beasts free. Huh. How did you know they could be saved? Asked his exhausted general. Sukapa, wiping mud from his face, says, I didn't, but we had to try. Next, they faced the mighty Patkai Mountains, giant, rugged peaks hooded with clouds. Those mountains will swallow us whole, whispered an old man. Sukapa placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Then we will pass through their bellies and out the other side. Narrow paths clung to the cliff edges. One wrong step meant death. A young boy slipped. He tumbled towards the abyss. Sukapa dove forward. His finger caught the child's wrist just in time. Thank you, my lord, sobbed the boy's mother. We leave no one behind, Sukapa replied. Then came the rains. For 40 days, water poured from angry skies. Mudslides crushed their shelters. Flash floods washed away their food stores. The gods are against us, cried a woman clutching her baby. Lightning split the darkness. In its flash, they saw Sukapa standing tall on a boulder. The gods don't test those they have given up on, he shouted above the storm. They test those they believe in. His powerful words gave them strength to continue on. Winter brought bitter colds to the mountain passes. Icy winds cut through their clothes like knives. A mother collapsed in the snow, her small daughter crying beside her. She's too weak to go on, said the soldier. We must leave them. Never, said Sukapa. He lifted the woman onto his own horse. He gave the child his fur cloak. That night, he told stories by the fire to keep spirits alive. The valley ahead is green all year, he promised. Fruits hang heavy on the trees, river teem with fish. Have you seen this place? Asked a skeptical elder. Yes, in my dreams, said Sukapa. And dreams show us what can be. Disease struck in the second year. A mysterious fever swept through their camp. Even Sukpa fell ill. His advisors panicked. If you die, all is lost. Burning with fever, Sukapa spotted strange plants growing nearby. Those, he pointed weakly, make tea from those leaves. The bitter tea saved many lives, including his own. Next, they encountered hostile tribe with poisoned arrows. Instead of fighting, Sukapa approached their chief alone and without arms. Kill me if you wish, he told the chief, but my people seek only passage, not conquest. The chief lowered his weapon. You have courage. Courage deserves respect. And they were given safe passage. It was now 3 years into the journey. Food ran dangerously low. Children cried from hunger. Sukapa gathered everyone. He said, watch and learn. He showed them edible roots hidden underground. He taught them to find honey in hollow trees. He demonstrated how to catch fish with their bare hands. Nature provides, he explained. We must learn its secrets. 6 years passed. Some lost hope. We've been walking forever, complained a young warrior. This promised land is just a lie. That night, the warrior tried to leave with his family. Sukapa didn't stop him. Go if you must, he said. But remember, the journey back is just as long as the journey ahead. By morning, the warrior returned. I will trust you, he said simply. They crossed lands no one from their kingdom had ever seen. Vast grasslands where strange horned animals roamed in thousands. Desert regions where water was more precious than gold itself. During the 9th year, they faced their greatest obstacle, a mountain pass so high that air grew thin. Each breath burnt their lungs. Many collapsed. We'll die here, gasped his closest friend. No, said Sukapa. Though doubts flickered in his eyes, he said, we rest, we climb slowly, we help each other. It took 1 full month to cross that single pass. On the other side, Sukapa looked back at his people, now fewer, harder and stronger. Those who started this journey as strangers are now family. He told them, this alone makes a path worthwhile. 13 years after leaving home, after burying friends, fighting nature, and nearly giving up countless times, Sukapa reached the final mountain pass. Come, he called to his people, look! Below them stretched a green paradise. Rivers sparkled in sunlight. Forests teemed with life. Is this it? Asked a young boy who had been born during their journey. Yes, said Sukapa, tears in his eyes. This is our new home. Cheers echoed across the valley. People who hadn't wept even when burying their parents now cried openly. An old woman who had lost 3 children on the journey clutched Sukhapa's hand. It was worth it, she said. They would be proud today. But their celebration caught attention. Local tribes approached with weapons ready. Stay back, warned Sukhapa's general. They look hostile. Sukapa said, no, watch. He walked forward alone and without weapons. We come as friends, he called out in their language. The tribal chief frowned. Many come claiming friendship. Then they take our land. We wish to share, not take. said Sukapa. We bring gifts, we bring knowledge. He showed them metal tools. He showed them silk. He explained rice growing methods that could feed twice as many people. The chief was still suspicious. He handed Sukapa a bowl of uncooked rice mixed with cotton seeds. What is this for? Asked Sukapa. An elder explained. Separate them. Only a patient, honest man can do this well. Without hesitation, Sukapa sorted the rice from cotton perfectly. The chief smiled for the first time. You may stay. Perhaps we can learn from each other. Sukapa bowed. And we will learn from you, sir. Most conquerors forced their ways on others. Not Sukapa. He chose Charaidio as his capital. He didn't just build a palace, he built a city. What are your orders, sir? Asked his builders. First, build a meeting hall, said Sukapa. All tribal chiefs must have a place to speak. His advisors were confused. But they are not our people. They will be, said Sukapa. A kingdom is like a tapestry. Each thread makes it stronger. He created a new system of government. It took the best ideas from everyone. From his Thai homeland came organized record keeping. From local tribes came knowledge of the land. My lord, said his general, our soldiers have nothing in common with these local tribes. Then we must change that, replied Sukapa. He made a bold announcement. I encourage my people to marry those from local tribes. Some nobles protested. Our blood will be mixed. Good, said Sukapa. Our children will belong to both worlds. He himself married a local princess named Mala. When their son was born, Sukapa held him high. This child is not Thai. He is not Moran. He is not Purahi. He is Ahom, the unifier. The crowd repeated, Ahom, Ahom. And so the Ahom kingdom was born. Under Sukapa's rule, something wonderful happened. A new culture bloomed. In village squares, people danced together. Thai sword dancers performed to local drum beats. A farmer approached Sukapa one day. My lord, which gods should we worship now, ours or theirs? Sukapa replied, why choose? Honor all gods who bring goodness. He created new festivals everyone could enjoy. During spring planting, a priest called out, bring your tools for blessings. Farmers brought hoes and plows. Priests said prayers in many languages so that no one would feel left out. Sukapa started schools too. Children, he announced to a group of students, you will learn all our languages. Knowledge grows when shared. Artists from different tribes worked side by side at his palace. Teach each other, Sukapa instructed them. Create new beauty together. A Thai metal worker held up a piece of jewelry and said, I used these gemstones with our metal techniques. Sukapa was happy to see the collaboration. Perfect, he said. This is exactly what I dreamt of. Most importantly, everyone had enough food. A visiting trader once asked Sukapa, how did you create such plenty? Sukapa pointed to the rice fields. We combined their knowledge of land with our farming methods, and together we are stronger. Years passed. Sukapa grew old. On his final day, he called his children to his bedside. Father, how did you build such a strong kingdom? Asked his eldest son. Sukapa's voice was soft but clear. Listen carefully. A kingdom built on respect lasts forever. A kingdom built on force falls quickly. We will remember they promised. Treat all people with dignity, Sukapa continued. This is my final teaching. When Sukapa died in 1268, the entire kingdom mourned. A local tribal elder wept openly and said, "He was not born here, but he became our greatest leader." Thousands came to Charaideo. They buried him with the highest honors. But Sukapa's true monument wasn't made of stone. It was his kingdom. The Ahom dynasty ruled for 600 years. That's longer than most empires in history. When powerful armies tried to conquer them, the Ahom people stood united. "Why do we fight so fiercely?" a young soldier once asked an old general. "Because we defend Sukapa's dream," replied the general, "a land where all belong." Kings who came after Sukapa would ask at their coronation, "Am I worthy of Sukapa's throne?" Even today, people in modern Assam celebrate Sukapa Day every December 2nd. Children perform plays about his journey. Communities gather to remember his wisdom. A little girl at one celebration asked, "Was Sukapa a god?" "No," replied her grandmother. "He was something even more rare, a leader who united instead of divided." The story of Shaolong Sukapa teaches us many lessons, such as great leaders connect people, not divide them. Differences do not make us weaker, but make us stronger. The best journeys change how we live together. Sukapa's footstep may have faded, but his dream of unity still lights our way.